And you're very welcome back to Thursday's Morning Focus with Alan Morrissey. Great to have you on board, and we would love to hear from you. If you want to react to anything you're hearing on the show, if there's anything else you would like to put under the spotlight, get in touch. It is 0818 400 964 to give us a call. Our text and WhatsApp number to drop us a message, of course, is 086 1800 964. You can have the stage by coming on air and airing your opinions in your own voice. All you have to do is send us a voice note via WhatsApp or send an email to focus@clare.fm. Lots more to come on the show. Later on, we'll be giving away that €50 voucher for Off the Rails in Ennistimon as well. A very simple question to be in the running for that, to be in contention. We're just asking you, what are you most looking forward to about Christmas and why? Let us know. 086 1800 964. Speaking of Christmas, later on, we're going to be chatting with the Clare woman who's showcasing her collection of cribs from all around the world. I'm looking forward to finding out how that became her interest and where she has sourced them and how different they are from country to country. And if you have a mould or condensation problem in your home, fear not, we'll have advice on how you can tackle that from an expert in the field as well. Later on in this hour, we are going to be hearing about Pieda's Light Up the Darkness appeal, but we're kicking off this hour with the Clare Senior Hurling Manager Brian Lohan, because Club Clare membership's now open for 2026 with money raised going towards supporting Clare's hurling and camogie teams for the coming season from adult to underage. Brian, very good morning to you. Thanks for popping in.
Morning, Alan.
So I suppose Club Clare itself, membership's now open. Important, I guess, for people to get involved with that. But from your perspective as the county's senior hurling manager, how important an institution is Club Clare in what you and the team do?
I suppose, look, it's massive. I suppose if you look at last year, 626,000 raised through Club Clare, which is a massive figure for any organisation. So it just gives us so much options as regards nutrition, advice, expertise, all the areas that we need for the development of our teams. So it's just crucial.
Kind of what you're saying there reminds me a bit of, they talk about in a game where the crowd can spur on a team, but a team also can spur on a crowd. Club Clare is important to your team and other Clare teams, but you too can be important to Club Clare because, it was from a deficit in 2024 to a surplus in 2025. And a big part of that, or one of the key cogs in that was the fundraising events in America, for example, which came off the back, naturally enough, of the amazing success in 2024, winning the league and in particular the All-Ireland. So that's where, I guess, I know it's a bit of a chicken and egg, but in that situation, you're the kickstarter for all of that happening.
Yeah, I suppose, look, we went out last year after the All-Ireland, and I suppose you're seeing the results of it there now because, the fundraising that was done is only shown in the figures for this year. But we got brilliant support, and of course, obviously, we had a couple of cups, a couple of trophies that we were able to bring out, and that always generates a crowd. But we got great support from numerous individuals outside in New York, in Boston, and in Chicago, and then on top of that, every year we do have our fundraisers. We have our golf classic in Clare, and we have our corporate lunch in Dublin, which is brilliant, and it's a great day and night. Usually in this year now it's February the 13th, above in the Intercontinental, and it's a great meeting place for people in Clare, and it's very well supported. So we've got a brilliant committee up there, brilliant committee of Clare people up there that are pushing the fundraising, and and in fairness, it's been there for a number of years. So it wasn't a case of it coming in on the back of success. So it was a kind of a driver of success, if you want to put that. If you want to put, 2024 certainly was a successful year. So Club Clare has been a good driver of that.
And even you mentioned, the events over in America, aside from the benefits of the financial aspect of it, for you guys, I mean, look, we know there are so many Irish people, including Clare people around the world, but on a day like All-Ireland final day, 82,000 people in Croke Park, and then you come back to the county and you turn around the county and you see the amazing impact winning an All-Ireland can have. maybe in that scenario you kind of almost forget until you actually go abroad what the diaspora, and I can remember speaking to the Irish Cultural Centre in Boston ahead of your guys' arrival, the excitement levels, they were so looking forward to it. To be treated as conquering heroes across the Atlantic Ocean must be just a lovely reminder face to face of, wow, the impact we can have on people, Clare people abroad.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant for obviously for the people over in the States to be inviting us over and having the having the trophies when we're going over, but brilliant for us as well. Brilliant experience for all of the team and backroom and all the people who are centrally involved in the setup to be going over, and just it's a great time when you win, and that's why you're involved. You want to win intercounty hurling. It's a great place, but it's not such a good place when you're losing. So it's a great place when you're winning, and that's what the motivation is to win and get better and perform. And it's even in Clare now, the big matches that we have, the local matches in Cusack Park, they're such a family event now, such a social event, and of course, they're not much good unless you're winning, but that's the chances that you take.
Yeah, look, and I guess with memberships open now, that's why it is important, that direct connection between supporters and the squad, and people contributing specifically to help players and management prepare properly. I suppose you've had time to reflect on 2025 overall, a somewhat different year to 2024, but I guess when you're put up there in the pedestal, you're there to be shot at, and it can happen, and it's very difficult to replicate it year after year. How do you reflect on the season now, Brian, with a little bit of distance behind you? Yeah,
look, a challenging year for us, obviously. The game is all about winning. It's all about getting over the line, whether it be whether you're winning trophies or whether you're winning matches. Like, it's so hard to win at the level that we're at, and then the Munster Championship is so competitive, and we weren't able to get enough wins or enough of points on the board to get us over the line. So it has led to a good bit of reflection from our perspective as a management, and also the team. The team, they're the guys who are putting in all the effort, that are doing the 5, 6 nights, 7 nights a week, whatever it is, that they feel they have to do to prepare themselves properly. So it has led to a good bit of reflection, and that, I suppose that's a test of us now. Are we going to be able to respond to that and try and put our best foot forward for next year? So we're working at the moment, and we tend to just keep our mouth shut and get our work done this time of the year, and we'll see later on in the year whether we've done enough of work to get back up to the level that we need to be at, or whether we haven't.
I suppose it can be difficult, Munster's the senior hurling championship in Munster is such a bear pit, and Clare have a very good record in it since the round robin was introduced, but of course it's a couple of steps up from the league. But the league is a kind of a springboard to hopefully better times ahead. You get an indication of what direction you're heading in, or where improvements need to be made. That balance for you as manager in the league of making changes, trying out new players, maybe new systems, new tactical tweaks, but also potentially dealing with injuries, and then also having to get wins. I mean, I know some people say, look, it's not the end of the world if you don't win the league, but at the same time, you want to do well, because winning breeds confidence. Relegation is not something you clearly factored into the plan. How much of a blow was that, Brian? Or is league and championship just so separate that you have that reset in between the two of them anyway once championship time comes?
Yeah, look, it was a big blow last year. Absolutely. The game is all about winning. It's all about performing, and if you're not performing, it affects everything. It's intercounty hurlers are not conditioned to lose games. They're not conditioned to be going down to the second division or whatever it is. So it was a big disappointment last year. So look, there's only you have a couple of ways to respond. You can feel sorry for yourself, or just get back into the gym and back on the field and try to get better and see how we respond this year.
I suppose managing expectations, I suppose from you and your management and your team's point of view, that's an easy job. Or like they showed what they can do in 2024, but the public. The Clare public, obviously coming off the back of being league and All Ireland champions, they're if not expecting, they're certainly hoping there's at some degree, if not all of that success is going to be replicated the following year. The players are probably hearing a little bit of that. It's hard to cocoon yourself from all of that. How, as a manager, do you approach that with the team? Look, block the outside noise and just have the horse blinkers on, and we focus on what we do. And if people are talking to you at home or in work or in the pub about, you should go on and win this, that and the other, just block it out. Yeah, well, look, we're not afraid of expectations, or it's not something that we shy away from. But look, I suppose it's all about the work that you do on the training field and the commitment that you make to it. And it's like cycling the Tour de France. Like if you haven't the miles in your legs, like you're not going to get up and down those hills. And it's the same with hurling. Like if you haven't the work done, you're not going to respond. So it's very easy to break it down. It's very easy to break it down to your individual sessions, your gym sessions, and then your parts of the session. Your hurling part or your skill development or whatever it is. It's very easy to break it down. So it's not rocket science. Okay, it can be hard to get right, but it isn't it isn't rocket science. And there is good experience in the group there. There's good experience in the management team, good expertise. We're happy with the people that we have involved. We've made changes. You obviously have to make changes, and there'll be further changes as the season develops. So we'll get out there. We're doing our work behind the scenes, and we'll try and meet people's expectations. But it's a tough competition out there. Yeah, and no tougher. I think it's you get very little argument that the Munster Senior Hurling Championship is the toughest provincial championship in all of Gaelic games, and there's so few games in which to get it right, and all 5 teams are top quality. When you have a difficult result, just one difficult result, it's almost like you're put to the pin of your collar almost straight away. But that opening game against Cork, in the first half, it was going very badly, and then fans couldn't have envisaged that by the end of the game Clare were actually unlucky not to win it at the end. So you come out of that in such a high. The Waterford game, though, a setback, and then from there it's very tough because you have so few games left to get it right, and one of them is against Limerick and Tipperary, so very, very tough games. How difficult is it? And then if there's like the difference of a week turnaround or 2 weeks turnaround to get things right?
Yeah, well, look, it's difficult, but I think the Munster Championship is a very fair championship. Like all you want when you're going out or preparing your team is a bit of fairness, and with that you've got that you've got 2 home games, you've got 2 away games. It's up to you to get enough wins on the board to progress either to a Munster final or to the All Ireland Championship, and that means that you have to finish in the top 3. So it's a fair championship. Everyone knows you may not get 2 home games at the start, or you might have 2 away games at the start, but it's the same for each one of the teams, whether it be in 2024, 2025 or 2026, it's the same system that is there. So it's tough. You lose games, it's tough, but sometimes that brings out the best in people as well. The 2024, we had a great start to the first part of the championship. We played against Limerick, going very well, and then fell apart for the last 10 minutes and lost the game. And then that put so much pressure on us. But then, what happened down in Cork, when we were to the pin of our collar, just produced a brilliant performance and won down in Cork, and then next thing the year takes off from then. So it really puts it up to players, and you really see what kind of individuals you have in the squad. Do they start giving out, or do they knuckle down and get working? And we're in a lucky position at the moment that we've got really powerful players and really brilliant guys to be working with. So look, as long as it's fair, we don't mind. We'll take it on. We'll be looking forward to it. We always get brilliant support, and that's really appreciated by the players as well.
Of course, you know what way the fixtures are going to fall for the Munster Championship next year. It's an even split in terms of 2 home games followed by 2 away games. Probably, you can always view these things as pros and cons. The pros of it is, well, it's great to start off 2 home games and get 2 wins under your belt, if at all possible. And then, as you're talking about results breeding confidence as you go on, that could lead you into your 3rd and 4th game. But then there's also the other side is, well, it places pressure on you to get results in those 2 home games, because if you lose one or whatever, that can create pressure. As we say, one negative result in that championship it does create pressure. 2 home games, Waterford and Limerick. How important is it to start that campaign well, Brian? Gain momentum, especially with the latter 2 fixtures, Cork and Tip being on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. It's massive. Yeah, but something to really look forward to as well. It's first day out, Waterford at home here, after getting a bit of a skinning last year down in Waterford.
Revenge.
Well, no, look, it's just, we can't, we'd love if that didn't happen last year, but it did, and we have to deal with it. So, we've got Waterford first, then Limerick, almost straight away afterwards, and then we have a break, and then we go away to Tip
and then Cork,
then Cork away as well. So look, there's nothing easy about it, but we don't want it easy. We're happy enough to take it on as best we can. We've great faith in our players. We've great faith in our backroom team. We've great faith in our support. We've a lot in our favour, and we just take it on and see how we go. We're not. We know there's a huge amount of hard work, and the standard is very high. But the standard of our guys are we've got some of the best players in the country.
You're not going to get any argument from our listeners on that.
Yeah, look, we've got brilliant guys, and while we're there, we have to try and prepare the team and present the team as well as we possibly can. So that's effectively what we try and do every year, and sometimes it works, and more times, look at last year, it doesn't work.
I was asking you earlier about the importance of the week break between championship games and 2-week breaks. I just wonder, looking at next year, how important those fortnight breaks are going to be, because the first one for you falls between the Waterford and Limerick home games. Obviously all the games are big challenges, but should you get a good result against Waterford, the prospect of Limerick coming to Zimmer-Byman Park, so give a fortnight lead into that. Then in between the 2 home games and the 2 away games, you get another fortnight's break. So it seems, on the face of it to me anyway, ideally placed that you can take stock of where you're at heading into that big challenge and being on the road the weekend of the 17th and the weekend of the 24th of May.
Yeah, look, the scheduling of the games is
You're
okay.
Happy with it?
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Often we would have played, say, week after week for 2 games in a row, that was fine too. Where we used to have difficulties was when previously, going back maybe 3-4 years ago, you could potentially have had 3 games in a row, so week after week after week, and that was difficult, because more often than not you were playing someone that didn't have 3 games in a row. So I think, in fairness to the Munster Council, they addressed that, and they changed the scheduling, so everyone from a scheduled position is in a fair position. So it's we have no problem with the scheduling.
Of course, you'll have plenty of games before that, coming up very soon as well. You start the year at the Munster Hurling League, home against Limerick, then Cork away. How valuable are those early fixtures in shaping the season, or just, I don't know, shaking the lead out of the legs, or getting fellas up and running in 2026? Yeah,
they're a great opportunity. Last year we didn't have those Munster Hurling League, and typically we have a panel of, we've a panel of between 40 and 45 players, and look, inter-county players, they don't want to be on a panel, right? They want to be playing. And you'd love to be able to play 20 or 25 or 30 players, but that just isn't the way it is. So you can only play 15. And then there's another 5 players that you can use as finishers or subs or whatever you want to call them. So those Munster League games are crucial for the guys who are part of the squad in getting some game time. So it may be, for us, for example, we've 7 guys from the Clare under 20 squad last year that are in with us this year. So it's a big opportunity for those guys. They'll want to be playing. They'll want to be playing against Limerick or Cork or both of those games. So it's a great opportunity for the younger guys in particular, and the guys that are trying to get onto the to get into the setup. So yeah, they're crucial games for the development of the whole squad.
And that leads you into the National League then. Clare starting at home to Dublin. Then there's an away trip to, of course, Antrim, managed by Davy Fitzgerald. How important does a strong start in Division 1 be, Brian? And I just wonder as well how it's a demanding league schedule, and a trip to Antrim. There's plenty of travel involved in it. How are you approaching squad depth and player management for 2026?
Yeah, well, look, it is, and you say as you say, like Dublin coming to Ennis. All-Ireland semi-final last year, had a man sent off against Limerick, still beat Limerick above in the All-Ireland quarter-final. So that's a massive game for us, and obviously Antrim is a massive game for us as well. Those first 2 games that we have, and then we've got Down coming to Ennis, so you've got 3 weeks in a row.
The interesting aspect of 1B, new opposition that you won't come up against that often, the likes of Down, the likes of Antrim to a certain extent.
All these and we'll be seen as a bit of a trophy to take down, like I'm sure Dublin, Antrim and Down will be really looking forward to getting a shot at us.
And I guess you welcome that, because that not that I'm sure you would, no complacency will set in your team, but that prospect of being the top dog ensures that there's no room for complacency, because you're out there to be shot at by all those teams.
Oh yeah, look, it's look, once the season starts, it's an intense season. It's tough going. It's it is something to really look forward to. But at the same time, it's tough, and there's going to be pressure on our lads. You're going to have to win matches. That's just the way it is. But we're not afraid of that. We'll take that on. We'll deal with that. Just look, from our perspective, we're really looking forward to the year. We think we're in a better place. We think we've more work done. Right, we haven't all our work done, but we've more work done than what we had last year. And we're just going to try and take it on, see how we get on.
Just finally, Brian, we're a week out exactly from Christmas. The Lohan household, will you get to put the feet up and relax and enjoy Christmas and Stephen's Day and all of that? Or with games coming so quickly, obviously the 3 days into the new year is your first game in the Munster Hurling League. Is it going to be hard to switch off? Will you be there when people are opening presents, thinking about permutations and formations and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, what we do and what we've always done is we always give players a good break. So we'll train on the 23rd and then we'll give fellas a full break until the 3rd. So that's leaving us vulnerable for the Limerick game in the Munster League, and it's putting pressure on players themselves.
But you have to do it as well so that they can tune out for just a little bit.
Yeah, well,
before they go hard at it for the year.
We think we do have to do it, yeah. So our S&C and our hurling coaches would be saying to me, look, we need to give these boys a break. We've got a pretty intense period of matches coming up, pretty intense January and February. You could be week on week for nearly all of January and into February, and then we'll have a break the weekend of the 14th and 15th of February, but we could potentially have 5-6 weeks in a row of games. So we've made the decision that they'll take the Christmas off and they'll enjoy it and spend time with their families and all that kind of stuff. and intercounty players at the moment, they're not social animals or anything like that. Like they
very focused,
exceptionally focused. So we'll leave it up to themselves how they prepare for that game against Limerick, and we'll be looking forward to a good crowd being outside in Tulla for that game, and we'll be welcoming Limerick out and see how that goes.
Okay, so maybe they can have the turkey in the ham, but maybe avoid the gravy and the trimmings.
Yeah, well, or
stay away from the celebrations and the heroes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but look, they're. A number of the guys, like they're just brilliant guys to be around and brilliant guys to work with.
Well, look, we hope you're playing as many games as possible in 2026, because if you are, it means that Clare are in the hunt for silverware. Brian, thanks so much for popping into the studio. Have a great Christmas, you and the team, and we do hope it's going to be a very happy New Year for all of you, because it'll mean it's a happy New Year for all of us as well. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Alan, and thanks for giving me the opportunity of coming in.
No problem, anytime at all. The Clare Senior Hurling Manager Brian Lohan joining us in studio on Morning Focus.